We're very fortunate to be able to welcome Kris Ranganath from the NEC Corporation to Interpol World Television. Kris, good to see you on Interpol World TV.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Now, NEC, you have been providing the facial recognition software that has been allowing people to be admitted to the Congress. Can you tell me a little bit about your technology?
So, NEC has been doing research on facial recognition technology for almost 20 years. So increasingly now we are using latest technology like deep learning technology to look at how do we recognize people even when they are not really looking at the camera. So we are coming up with technologies where even a non-frontal image can be processed more efficiently and more accurately, and we are using these type of technology for what we call as a frictionless movement. What you see here is somewhat friction because you still have to scan your boarding pass, not the boarding pass, the tag. But in reality, as we go forward, we want people to just walk through airports, board a plane with just facial recognition technology. So we have all these types of new technology which we are coming up with.
But traditionally, people have been skeptical of facial recognition technology because of the error rates and the fact that it has to be almost a front-on picture that you take. Will we ever get to the point where it is reliable and the camera angle can be from different angles?
Yeah, so if you look at technology which was like 15 years ago, the error rate was almost 30%. But if you look at the technology today, the error rate is less than 3%. And one of the reasons why we have made this progress is because, as you know, there is substantial improvement in artificial intelligence technology. And this technology has produced these deep learning methods, which allows us to train the algorithm to behave like humans. So the newer facial recognition technology doesn't really look for a frontal image. It looks at an individual from all different angles. That's the way we train the algorithm. So when we try to recognize, it will use the same training, whatever training we have done, and it will be a lot more accurate. And going forward, we look at even accuracy reaching 98, 99%, which is what you will get with fingerprint or iris matching today.
But we're capturing people's biometric data. Should people be concerned about the safety of their biometric identity? Because once that's stolen, you can't chase it.
Yeah, so this is there are two things. There's a privacy angle to this, and there is also about the IT security angle to that. From an IT security angle, anything can be stolen. Your social security number can be stolen, just like a facial data. But in reality, for somebody to steal your biometrics and also represent that biometrics, it's quite challenging, especially facial recognition. You have to go build a mask which looks exactly like you. If you look at our booth, we have now technology which can detect such masks. We are training our algorithm to see which is actually a real face, which is a mask. We look for sweat pores, we look at the texture, and we also look at the temperature of the face. So there are technologies we are coming forward with where even if you steal your biometrics, it cannot be reused. So that is one aspect of that. When you come to privacy angle, a lot of these programs we have, unless it's a government program where you're obligated to give biometrics, you opt in. So if you want to have a smooth and easier passage through an airport, so you can opt in. You can also stay with your old program, like some people do. You go scan here, check there, touch this, touch that. But increasingly people see the benefit of biometrics, and largely that is driven by our mobile devices. Today we feel at ease when we put our finger and unlock the phone, as compared to putting 8-digit or 6-digit password. So I think it is an opt-in option, and a lot of industry is looking at giving such option for consumer to make the decision.
But once you've opted in, can you ever opt out?
Yes, of course. You can always delete. It's just like any other program. If you want to use certain entitlement, you can opt in, and if you decide to go out of that, the companies do provide other alternative means to continue with that.
So you've got quite a large presence at the expo here in Singapore. What other technologies are NEC showing?
So as we move forward, we look at humans almost like a sensor. So if you look at there's a temperature sensor. So when you look at a human, we use biometrics as some of the human attributes which can be sensed with camera or a fingerprint scanner or an iris scanner. So we think that as we move forward, simply relying on biometrics alone cannot bring the security. how do we augment biometrics with additional sensing? So today, if you look at almost all the people in this exhibition, invariably everybody is carrying a mobile device. So you are now automatically transmitting an additional ID, which was not there a few years ago. So why can't I sense the mobile device? Why can't I sense the signal what you're emitting from the device and combine that with the biometrics? So once I do that, I increase the level of security. I can make it convenient for you to walk around and use all these facilities. That is one part. Second thing is, we are also looking at the forensic world. So when all this media is increasing, photographs, social media, video, citywide surveillance, so when you have all this massive media, what can we do with this media? How can we use this to improve the lives of citizens? For example, I can use the information from traffic and the way the pedestrians move to better design the cities. And at the same time, I can also use that information to address any investigation. If there is a security event, some terrorism act or something, if I have to go back and look at what happened, why did this happen, who is the perpetrator of this, I can use this massive amount of data to do that. Now, to do that, technology has to progress a lot. I mean, you have to now look at how do I take petabytes of data and do that processing in few hours. So we are now more focused on such technologies. How do we take massive data and bring it to a level where we can get some intelligence, some knowledge out of that? And that's where we are.
So how important is artificial intelligence going to be in dealing with that huge volume of data?
It's one of the main ingredient because what happens is when you take this massive amount of data and you are trying getting all this data to a level, we call this as metadata. We take the media, from that we may extract a facial template, or we may detect a license plate, or we detect whether it's a car or a truck. When all this data comes, now I have to take the data and search that. To search that and to make some sense, we need intelligence. We cannot sit there and say, show me all the trucks. You may see 1 million trucks in there. So I'm not looking for 1 million trucks. I should be able to say, show me a truck in this zone. I can give a coordinate of map and say, this color may be white, may be blue. When you start throwing such parameter, that's where the AI techniques come into play. And it will be able to gather the data and present that to us. So it's a big component.
So why did you choose Interpol World as the platform to bring out your facial recognition technology and display other technologies?
So, Interpol World and security events like this gives us a chance for us to come and present our ideas and our technologies. At the end of the day, we think we understand all the public safety requirements. So these avenues allow us to show what we have and also listen to the customer and come back, combine these two and fine-tune our product and produce something which will help the society. So if you look at our theme, our goal is to create a secure world, secure and safer world. And we cannot do that from just technology alone. We need to have that private and public partnership. And we hope that Interpol World gives us a chance to do that. That's the reason we are showing all these new technologies.
Well, I think that's fantastic, and thank you very much indeed for spending some time with us on Interpol World Television to share your ideas and why you're here.
Thank you very much. Nice meeting you.